Did you know that just hours before the biggest football match on earth, one of the greatest players in history collapsed under circumstances that remain controversial to this day? The official explanations never satisfied everyone. The witnesses remembered different events. Journalists reported conflicting stories. Rumors spread faster than facts. And decades later, millions of football fans still ask the same unsettling question. What really happened to Brazil before the 1998 World Cup Final? To understand why this mystery refuses to die, we must return to the summer of 1998. France was hosting the FIFA World Cup. Across the globe, billions watched as the world's greatest football nations battled for the sport's highest prize. Among them, one team appeared unstoppable: Brazil, the defending champions, the kings of world football. Wherever they traveled, crowds followed. Every training session attracted reporters. Every match generated headlines. Every player carried the expectations of an entire nation. But among them stood one figure above all others: Ronaldo. Young, explosive, unstoppable. At only 21 years old, he was already considered one of the most gifted footballers the world had ever seen. Defenders feared him. Fans adored him. Sponsors built campaigns around him. Children copied his every move. Many believed they were witnessing the beginning of football immortality. As Brazil advanced through the tournament, that belief only grew stronger. The team reached the final. The opponent would be France, the host nation. The atmosphere surrounding the match was electric. Journalists called it the perfect final. The world's greatest player versus the host nation. History versus destiny. Millions anticipated a legendary showdown. No one knew that behind the scenes, something strange was unfolding. Something that would transform a football match into one of sport's greatest mysteries. The night before the final, Brazil's camp appeared calm. Players rested. Coaches prepared tactics. Reporters gathered outside hotels. Everything seemed normal. Then came the incident. Late in the evening, Ronaldo reportedly suffered a severe medical episode. Counts vary. That is part of the mystery. Some witnesses described it as a seizure. Others used different terms. What everyone agreed upon was this: something serious had happened. Teammates reportedly found Ronaldo in distress. Medical personnel rushed to assist him. Panic spread through the camp. Suddenly, the world's most important football match became secondary. The concern was no longer victory. The concern was Ronaldo himself. What happened next remains one of the most disputed sequences in football history. Different people remember different events. Different reports tell different stories. And every contradiction created new questions. Some accounts suggested Ronaldo became unresponsive. Others claimed he recovered quickly. Several reports described confusion among coaches and medical staff. At one point, it appeared certain he would not play in the final. Then something unexpected happened. Hours later, his name appeared in Brazil's starting lineup. The decision shocked many observers. Questions immediately emerged. How had such a dramatic medical incident been resolved so quickly? Why was one of the world's biggest stars returning to the field? Who made the decision? And perhaps most importantly, was he truly fit to play? The public knew very little. Inside the Brazilian camp, tension continued growing. Outside, rumors exploded. Journalists rushed to uncover details. Conflicting stories appeared in newspapers. Television networks reported contradictory information. Nobody seemed to possess the complete picture. The closer kickoff approached, the stranger the situation became. Then the final began. From the opening minutes, something felt wrong. Not only with Ronaldo, with Brazil itself. This was not the team many expected to see. Passes lacked precision. Movement seemed slower. Confidence appeared absent. France controlled the match. Brazil struggled to respond. As minutes turned into hours, the atmosphere became increasingly surreal. Millions of viewers watched in disbelief. The defending champions appeared powerless. The final score shocked the football world. France 3, Brazil 0. The host nation celebrated. The crowd erupted. History was made. Yet for many observers, the result became secondary. Attention immediately shifted elsewhere. To the mystery, to the questions, to Ronaldo. Within hours, speculation spread across the globe. What had happened before the match? Had Brazil concealed the truth? Had the public been misled? Was Ronaldo healthy enough to play? Why were so many details inconsistent? The theories arrived almost immediately. Some were reasonable, others were extraordinary. Each attempted to explain a mystery that refused to fit together neatly. The first theory focused on medical causes. Supporters of this explanation argued that Ronaldo had suffered a genuine health emergency. The stress of the tournament, physical exhaustion, emotional pressure. Any number of factors could have contributed. According to this view, the tragedy lay not in conspiracy but in circumstance. Yet even this explanation left important questions unanswered. Why were witness accounts so different? Why did reports change repeatedly? Why did confusion seem to surround nearly every aspect of the incident? The uncertainty created fertile ground for speculation. Soon darker theories emerged. Some suggested powerful commercial interests had influenced decisions. At the time, Ronaldo was one of the most marketable athletes on earth. Sponsors invested enormous sums into his image. The World Cup itself represented a global spectacle worth billions. Conspiracy theorists began asking uncomfortable questions. Could financial pressure have influenced events? Was there pressure to ensure football's biggest star appeared in the final? No evidence ever proved such claims. Yet the theories persisted. Because mysteries survive where certainty is absent. Then came another rumor. Poisoning. The word spread rapidly through football circles. Whispered conversations, radio debates, tabloid headlines. The idea sounded sensational, but that did not stop people from discussing it. Supporters of the theory pointed toward Brazil's unusually poor performance. Others focused on Ronaldo's condition. Some claimed hidden enemies might have sabotaged the team. Again, no evidence ever supported such accusations. Investigations failed to uncover proof. Still, the rumor endured. Because once a mystery captures public imagination, facts alone rarely end it. The years passed, yet interest never faded. Journalists continued revisiting the story. Documentaries examined the events. Books explored competing explanations. Former players shared memories. Each new account added another piece to the puzzle. Yet the puzzle never became complete. Some teammates described confusion and fear within the camp. Others recalled uncertainty regarding Ronaldo's condition. Several admitted they still struggled to understand exactly what happened. The passage of time only deepened the mystery. Memory changed. Perspectives evolved. Details blurred. What remained constant was the feeling. The feeling that something unusual had happened. Something significant. Something never fully explained. Perhaps that is why the story continues attracting attention decades later. Football has witnessed countless matches. Countless victories, countless defeats. Most eventually fade into history. This one never did. Because it contains all the elements of a lasting mystery. A global stage, a beloved superstar, conflicting testimony, unanswered questions, and a moment that altered the course of sporting history. Over time, the incident became larger than football itself, transformed into a case study of uncertainty, a reminder that even in the age of television cameras and worldwide media coverage, important events can remain surprisingly unclear. People assume modern history records everything. The 1998 World Cup Final suggests otherwise. Sometimes the most famous moments become the most mysterious, especially when everyone witnesses the ending but few understand the beginning. Even today, researchers continue examining the available evidence. Medical records, interviews, contemporary reports, eyewitness testimony. Yet consensus remains elusive. Different experts reach different conclusions. Different journalists favor different explanations. Different fans believe different stories. The mystery survives because certainty never arrived. And perhaps certainty never will. Some believe the answer is simple. A medical emergency occurred. Confusion followed. Rumors exaggerated events. Nothing more. Others remain unconvinced. They point toward contradictions, missing details, changing narratives, questions that still lack definitive answers. Who is correct? That depends on which evidence you trust. And in this case, trust is precisely where the mystery begins. Because every witness saw only part of the story. Every report contained limitations. Every explanation left gaps. The result is a modern legend. Not a ghost story. Not a supernatural tale. But a mystery powerful enough to endure for generations. The mystery of the poisoned team. Title born from speculation. Sustained by uncertainty. And immortalized by one unforgettable night. Today, the final remains one of the most watched matches in football history. Yet for many fans, the scoreline is no longer the most important memory. What they remember is the question. The same question asked in stadiums, television studios, newspapers, documentaries, and online discussions around the world. What really happened to Ronaldo before the final? Perhaps we already know. Perhaps the answer has been sitting in plain sight for years. Or perhaps a crucial piece of the puzzle remains hidden somewhere in the shadows of football history, waiting, silent, unanswered. Because some mysteries are solved by evidence. Others survive because evidence is never enough. And more than 2 decades later, the events of that night continue to occupy a strange place between fact and folklore. Between history and legend. Between certainty and doubt. The match ended. The trophy was lifted. The crowd went home. But the mystery never left. If you enjoy real-life mysteries, unsolved sports stories, and the hidden secrets behind history's biggest moments, subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story. Because somewhere in the archives of football history, the truth about that night may still be waiting to be discovered.